Hi, good evening, all of you guys. Hope all of you can hear me. Yeah, guys, can you please confirm, guys, is I'm audible?
Yes, audible, sir.
Right, guys, right. Yeah. So, yeah, guys. So let's continue, guys. Just before just going to the today's discussion, guys. So whoever is already completed the demo sessions, guys, please go ahead with the registration process because within a couple of days they will change the link. The link will be shared only with the paid participants only. So, guys, if you anybody is want to just if you want to continue the classes without having any issues, without having any delays, please go for the registration, guys. So contact my backend team. They will help you. They will help you to complete your registration process by paying the fee. And so that you can get the access to the drive, the Python videos, all these are going to be, you will be getting the access as soon as possible, guys. Okay. So as, yeah.
There a good question here, Arun here.
Yeah,
So
Arun.
the class timing is only 6 p.m. class you have, or is there any other timing for data science full stack?
It will be there. It will be there, Arun. As of now, we are starting the 6 o'clock. Maybe after immediately we don't start it, right? At a time we cannot start multiple batches at the same time. So maybe another couple of weeks, or it may be maybe it may take a couple of weeks. We'll be starting maybe a morning batch, depending on the what are the slots that are available.
Oh, okay. Because for me, it's like afternoon batch would be fine. Because the place where I stay is 5 hours behind India.
Generally,
So,
afternoon batches, it may not be possible,
okay.
Arun.
Yeah, I
The
understand that
things,
majority students you have to go with it. So
yeah,
what
yeah.
would be the possibility, morning or evening batch? That's what I want to know.
One is morning batches will be there. The morning batches are not comfortable for you, but because it will be midnight for you, as you're
Yeah,
saying that
yeah,
5 hours.
yeah.
So the alternate is we have a batch at 9:30 p.m. Arun, which was recently, that is also has been recently started. We are still in the beginning of Python only. If you want, you can register for the 9:30 p.m.
That's
batch.
a good time, but I have other class which clashes actually.
So
Uh,
then you have
no
multiple
point, right?
concerns. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
morning, what time are we talking about, sir? Sorry, taking your time. Is it like 10 a.m. or
Our timing 10 a.m.
10 a.m.? Maybe I can, it'll be early morning. I can go for that, but I
Um,
cannot go beyond that, like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. That's only my
right
worry.
now, there is 9 a.m. batches going on, so it will take some time to complete off. So as of now, there is no batch which may be suitable for you as of now.
Okay, maybe a month. So after a month, you might
Maybe,
start
might
class.
be, might be.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. So, guys, okay, so we'll continue, guys. So we already just started with some introductory part actually, guys. It's not an introductory part, just like the basic understanding, like what is data science, what is exactly the machine learning is going to be, what are the different skills we are going to be gets working. So as yesterday, I have been given some idea like what kind of skills we are going to learn. So once again, if we have a quick understanding about that, we have to know how to collect the data. We should know how to get some basic analytics on the data. How do you clean up the data? How we are going to be gets we perform some visualizations. And sometimes I didn't return it yesterday, but some kind of a skill called as a web scraping technique. A scraping technique is going to be required. So different skills actually, guys. So which is going to be model building, which is nothing but the machine model buildings it is going to be. So training the data models or training the machine learning models, and apart from that, evaluating them. Yesterday we discussed about what do you mean to say an evaluation actually. And apart from that, it is also going to be improvement, deployment. All these are going to be some of the basically the skills which we are going to be gets required actually, guys. So that is the what exactly we have been got discussed in the yesterday's discussion. We have been got done actually, guys. So starting from data collection to the deployment process. So the complete, like I can say that it is going to be the data science or the machine learning pipelining. How we can see that actually, if we just go online and check what is going to be the machine learning pipeline. So like how the process is going to be going on, starting from the data collection. Actually, before that, it is going to be some understanding the business requirement. That is not a technical concept. It is first we have to understand the business, the requirement from the client, and after that, whatever based on the requirement or based on the problem statement, we have to collect the data as it is required from different types of file systems, CSV file, Excel sheets. Okay, some kind of a data that is going to be required. After that, some kind of a cleaning, some analytics, visualizations. These are all some kind of a skills that are going to be required. So one of the main question that comes is, how do you do all these things? So as I'm talking about like yesterday, so how do you do the data collection? How do you do the data visualizations? How do you do this particular data cleansing? One of the main question that comes to most of you guys is going to be it's going to be comes to the most of you is going to be nothing but like what I can say here is what generally we are going to say here is it's going to be like, do you have to learn multiple languages for this? So do you have to learn multiple languages? Okay. Or is it necessary that I have to learn some different tools we have to use? So basically to perform all these operations, so generally I don't want to, the techniques are multiple guys, skills are multiple, but whatever the tools that we are going to be using is not going to be, it's not going to be a complex one actually guys. That is not going to be a complex one actually. So we don't use any tools here guys. We don't use any tools. We are not going to be using any kind of a tools we are going to use. So what we are going to be using? So then without using them, how can you collect the data? How do you visualize the data? How to clean up the data? So for that, we are going to be using one of the very popular language, which is going to be what we are going to call it as guys, which is what we are going to call it as a Python. So we are going to learn a particular language called as a Python is a language, what we are going to use this. So whenever I said Python language, whenever I said immediately Python language, immediately maybe some of you may get a doubt saying that which is going to be like how can that means why I have to learn a language? So which is going to be why I have to learn a language actually? Sir, I was not I'm not from any programming side. Then how I can exactly learn this particular programming languages? So you are saying that you have to learn some language called as a Python. So how it is going to be possible actually? So though I say that Python is one of the programming language, though we say that Python is going to be one of the programming language, really we don't require much programmatical skills. We really don't require much programmatical skills to understand or to implement, to use this particular Python programming language. So absolutely, we say that Python is going to be one of a programming language, but it is not that much complicated or it is not that much complex like which is going to be learning Java or something like a C, C++ or some other language. So we cannot compare with those particular programming languages, guys. Python is different, guys. So technically, being it is a programming language, we say that we are going to call it as a language or a programming language. But practically, when it comes here, it is a very simple language which can be used by everyone. So I need not to say I need not to say more points about that. In a simplest way, I can say is Python can be easily learned, or the Python can be it can be learned and it can be used also even by the people who do not have any the programmatical knowledge. It's a very simple language and very easy to learn, very easy to use. Even some kind of a non-IT professionals, non-programmers, okay, so non-technical people, they need not to be having any prerequisites to learn the Python. So maybe some people says that Java, if you want to learn Java, so at least if you have some basics of the C language, then you can learn any programming language. But coming to the Python, Python is going to be, it's not going to be a programming language practically when I talk about that. By definition, we say that it is a programming language, but whenever it comes practically, it is not going to be a programming language. Generally, we can categorize into something like a scripting language, we can say it actually as. We call it as a simple scripting language, we are going to call it as. Okay. So I'll tell you like why we call it as a scripting language. So nowadays, who are using this Python actually, guys? As I said that no, Python is not only used by the IT professionals or any software programmers. Even some kind of a non-programmers, non-IT professionals, mathematicians, statisticians, even the people who are not at all aware about and who are not at all interested. Like for example, take a mathematician, guys. Take a mathematician who has been done like MSc maths, or it may be PhD, whatever they've done. Ask them to learn some programming language. So completely these mathematicians and statisticians, they are not at all interested. They are not going to interested to learn any programming language. Maximum they will use the computers. Mathematicians, statisticians also, they will use computers. Maths and statisticians people, they will be using this particular computers, but their usage is going to be up to only just an Excel sheets only they will use. They will use as maximum, their knowledge is only up to Excel sheets. They don't use any other software languages. They don't use any languages actually, guys. Maximum they'll be using Excel sheets. So nowadays, that it's a story, it's maybe some around maybe 20 years back or some 10 years back. But almost all I have been seeing from the last 5-6 years of time, these mathematicians and statisticians who are completely, we can say that these mathematicians, statisticians are completely, their programmatical skills are almost all zero actually, guys. Almost all zero. So absolutely, as you know that programming languages require some mathematical knowledge, but mathematicians don't prefer to learn programming languages. Everything they want to do with their formulas, with their theories, with their theorems, everything is going to be some mathematical statistical concepts only. They want to solve the problem. Maximum extent they will use as is Excel sheets. That too, why they will do the Excel sheet? Why? Because is basically there are going to be they are going to do some calculations. Let us say complex calculations. They will be doing it actually. So from a not couple of years, maybe from hardly from somewhere I have seen, maybe somewhere around some 7-8 years before, these mathematicians and statisticians started using a programming language called as R language, guys. So they find it very convenient. R language is very convenient. They started using this particular R language. Even not only they are learning as part of their academic courses also, that means as part of the university course curriculum also, they have been learning as part of their academic course, as part of their bachelor's or master's. So nowadays, like for example, if you join for any engineering courses, independent of what is your specialization or what is your core subject, whether it is in computers, IT, mechanical, or CSC, or it can be anything, electronics, electrical, or any instrumentation, whatever it may be your core subject, everybody has to learn at least a minimum of C language has to learn, right? Everybody has to learn C language, independent of your branch. Even a civil people, even the civil people also, they have to learn the C language. It's a common language actually, guys. Before, some years before, at engineering level, they used to use a language called as an Fortran. Fortran is a language what they used to use it actually, guys. I think it's a Fortran. It's not R is there. It is Fortran, which is basically used for mathematical and mathematical calculations can be done very easily with the help of this particular language called as an Fortran is a language what they used to use it actually, guys. This is a Fortran language. So earlier, these engineering graduates, these engineering graduates used to learn this particular Fortran language. Fortran, it is, I think, not FOT, it is FORT, Fortran. Okay. So the Fortran is another programming language. This is an old version actually, I guess, COBOL, which is going to be basic. All these are going to be some older, which is going to be the older actually, I guess. So mainly, if you can see, Fortran is also like a general purpose compiled interpretive programming language, especially suited for numerical computation and scientific computing. So it was there in 1950s, and it is going to be came to some dominate some scientific computings. Nowadays, nobody is using actually, guys. Nobody is using actually. Maybe in some research projects, those people are going to be using, but in some years before, we used to use it actually. But now, almost all the Fortran language has been replaced by the C language. Same as it is, just generally now as part of the academic courses, as part of the university course curriculum, these university also started introducing. So mathematicians, statisticians means they not only they have to do always use a pen and paper work, they want to also use the computers. So what they did is they started using the Excel software, and apart from that, they started using this R language also. R is also one language which is very, very easy and very convenient actually, guys. Now, even these mathematicians and statisticians who are not that much shows the interest towards the programming language, they started replacing their R language with Python. They started learning Python also actually, guys. Earlier, when we used to ask them to learn a programming language, who are completely, they completely reject it actually, saying that we don't want to learn any programming languages. We use Excel sheet, that is sufficient for us. Even that kind of a people nowadays, they started learning this particular Python actually, guys. They started learning the Python actually. So I just want to make you understand in a simplest way, like how simple this particular Python language is there. That is the mainly I want to make you understand it. So I want to, don't think that Python will be used only by the, which is going to be only by programmers or only by who are highly skilled in a programming part, or who are having completely a programmatical skills. It sorry guys, it's not like that. So anybody who are professionals or IT professional, who are non-IT professionals, everybody is using it actually, guys. So not only the technical, non-technical people, everybody is taking and utilizing the powerfulness of Python actually. Why? Because Python is a very simple language. It's a very, very simple language, which is very easy to learn, and at the same time, which is very, very easy to use. Easy to learn and very easy to use. We are going to be using this language called as, which is going to be the Python is a language, what we are going to use it. So anyhow, I'll talk about that. Technically, I'll talk about that, but what is the main advantages why the Python is becoming easy? Sir, anyhow, it is a programming language. Then how can you say that it is very easy? Why? Because in Python, what will basically happen here is, for any functionality we want to perform, there will be some kind of a predefined functionality will be there. So Python says that if you want to implement this functionality, don't write any code. For that, we have a function will be there. So just you have to use the function. We already created some functionality. Just call the function, give the input, whatever you require, and automatically that is going to be it is going to perform the operation. So learning Python means it is all about only just not writing the code actually, guys. Learning Python is all about just calling some functionalities. Calling the functionality. We don't write any codes actually, guys. There are so many built-in functionalities will be there, or a built-in functions will be there. Just the only thing is just we have to call them. Actually, guys. Just once you call them, that's it. It is going to be automatically they performs the required operations, whatever that is required. So that is basically the simplicity of this particular, the Python language, what we are going to talk about that. Okay. So it's very easy and very simple language to learn, And it is not only simple to learn, it is also very simple to use. So once if I start with the application, you will automatically understand. In the last two classes, I think already I have shown you like how simple the Python language is going to be there, how simple the Python language is there. I also just written some 1 or 2 lines of code. I have written some 1 or 2 lines of code I have been got written, and you are able to see that even you didn't understand what it is going to be, but hope you have an idea. You got some idea like how simple I'm going to be doing it actually. Almost all types of skills I can do it actually, guys. Almost all types of skills. Whatever the skills I required in our data science, all types of skills we can apply them, all types of techniques. So I can do the data loading. I can do the data loading. I can do the data analytics. Okay, everything I can do it, guys. Data analytics we can do, data loading we can do, data loading we can do it actually. We can perform some kind of a data analytics. We can do some kind of a data cleansing. We can also do data visualization also actually, guys. Data visualization also what we can do. We can apply all the machine learning algorithms. And nowadays, Python has become a very common language, guys. Python has been became one of the common language that has been become actually. Almost all everywhere we are going to be using the Python actually. Like for example, if you go to a Spark framework actually, guys, whenever we plan to use a Spark, what is Spark actually? Maybe don't worry about that. Spark is one of a framework which we are going to be using for processing of large volumes of data. So Spark is a framework only, guys. Spark is not a language. So how the Spark is going to works? So Spark was integrated with Python. You can integrate, it's not mandatory, but you can integrate the Python with the Spark, and we are going to call it as an, which is going to be a PySpark. What is PySpark actually, guys? Python plus Spark. Both combined, we are going to be calling it as n, which is going to be PySpark is what we are going to call it as. So if you want to learn Spark, for example, I generally goes to some training programs like a corporate level trainings where we have to give the trainings on, which is going to be in the Spark. So Spark can work with a different languages, guys. Basically, Spark can work with mainly 4 different languages. It can work 4 different languages. One is Scala. Learning Scala is going to be a little bit different and little bit difficulty also actually, guys. Spark is going to work with 4 different languages, guys. Scala is a little bit different language. So learning and implementation is also a little bit complicated. Spark can be implemented. We can do all the Spark implementations by using Python. That is nothing but the framework, what we are going to call it as PySpark. Even it can also work with R language. Even it can work with SQL language. So most of the companies will prefer, or most of the applications we implement in real time is either by using Python, guys, or either by using the SQL. So Spark plus Python and Spark plus SQL. These are the 2 combinations what we are going to call it as, which is nothing but what we call it as PySpark. It's a PySpark actually, guys. A PySpark is a nothing but one of the Python library which allows you to write all the Python code within the Spark framework. So they are learning the Python actually, guys. They're learning the Python actually. So nowadays Python has become a common, which is going to be a common skill. Even if you want to go to some kind of an like data engineering roles, or which is going to be data science role. So whatever we are working is a data science, guys. We call it, we are working on a data science. There is another type of the role, guys, which is going to be some kind of an which exists before the data science comes into the, or before the data scientist going to be comes into the picture. That is nothing but a data engineering role will be there. We'll tell you, we'll discuss about that. A framework is nothing but language is different, framework is a different actually, guys. So framework, what it is going to do is internally it is going to write all the code, all that particular code and everything, it will be written by itself only. We don't write any code actually. Okay, just there are some going to be some functions will be there. Just if you call the function internally, the framework is going to write the code by itself only. Language means nothing but the code which we have to write it. The functional code and everything, the language, everything we have to write it. But in frameworks, it is not like that. There are some set of instructions will be there. Just if you write the instruction internally, the framework will convert the instruction into a program, what we are going to do that. Even here also the same thing actually. Whenever we write a Spark, or whenever we write when you write a Python code, or whenever we write a Python syntax in the Spark is going to be gets converted all the syntax into, which is going to be a Spark job. It is going to be gets converted actually. So internally, the Spark framework will convert all these particular instructions into a program kind of a thing, and then it is going to be gets executed actually. So in framework, we don't write any code, we don't write any logics. We simply, there are going to be some set of instructions will be there. Just we have to call the instructions automatically. Internally, all that particular instructions will be get converted into the machine understandable language. It is going to be gets converted. That's why that is what we call it as a framework actually. Okay, fine. Right. So that is going to be what we are going to call it as an, which is going to be a Spark framework, which is going to be works with a language called as an Java, or so not Java. It is going to be Scala, or it may be Python, or it can be R, or it can be something called as an SQL. So Python is not only the prerequisite, it is not only just like a prerequisite. Almost all everywhere the Python is an integrating with the other languages and other frameworks very easily. So even we can do some kind of a machine learning, we can do that. Even not only machine learning, guys, advanced level called as, which is going to be deep learning, AI, almost all everything actually, guys, NLP, all these are going to be can be done with the help of your Python. So, but actually Python software looks to be very, very small software actually, guys. If we install the base Python system, if we install the base Python, it is hardly, you don't believe it, guys. The base Python system is going to be just hardly 25 MB space. I'm talking about a base Python system actually, guys. Base Python means it is only just the base, the Python system is only, which will be 24 MB actually, guys. But do you believe a 24 MB software or a 24 MB size of a particular framework is performing all these advanced level operations? Isn't it? So actually it is not 24 MB. 24 MB is only the base Python only. Plus along with that, we are going to be doing some kind of the additional, which is going to be setups. We are going to do it actually, guys. So to perform the data loading, we require some extra packages are required. Do you want to do some data visualization? Some extra packages are required. Do you want to perform machine learning, deep learning, AI, NLP related concepts? A separate packages are going to be required, which will be installing on top of this particular, the base system will do it actually, guys. So as I told you, learning Python and implementing in Python is only just like calling the functions. Just we have to call the function actually, guys. There are some functions will be there. Just we have to call the functions. We need not to write any functional code. I don't say that you can't write, you don't require to write any code. We'll write the code, but we don't write any functional code. I think you understand. So what is meaning of functional code means what it has to do, how it has to do, all that logic need not to be written. We don't write all that logic, guys. We just only write something like there is a predefined, we'll see. Once you start within one or two classes, I can just show you the practical application. Maximum tomorrow, I'll start with some kind of a basic practical applications. I can start with them actually, yes. So Python is going to be comes with, which is going to be a very huge support from a different libraries actually, guys. Those libraries will help you. They are not developed by Python, but they have been contributed to the Python actually, guys. Like just an example I want to tell you. Like for example, if I want to do all this data loading, data analysis, data cleansings, we are going to be having a Python library called as, which is going to be what we are going to call it as a pandas. So pandas is one of the Python library, guys. It was basically contributed. It was contributed by some community, an open source community called as a PyData. They have been contributed it actually, guys. They contributed it. They have contributed something. So they, by using the Python, they developed their own libraries. So what they did is we have got everything at a free of cost. So let us give it back. So the pandas community has been given all that particular pandas frameworks, basically which are used for data loading, data analysis, data cleansing. Do you want to do the data visualizations? Yes, we are having a data visualizations. Like what type of a libraries we have? We are having something called as an matplotlib, which is going to be, we are having something called as an cborn, or we are having so many libraries are there actually, guys. We have plotly, we are having bouquet, etc., etc. We have it actually, guys. What are again all these things, guys? Again, there are nothing but the Python libraries which are used for data visualization purpose. All these are Python supported only, guys. All these are Python provided, or which are contributed to Python only. We can use it. We can use it, guys. Do you want to learn machine learning? Yes, we can implement all the machine learning by using some other libraries, like which is going to be sklearn. So many are there actually, guys. sklearn. We have so many are there. Even so many are there actually, guys. Even Keras. All these are, we can perform it actually. What about the deep learning and AI related application? So we require some kind of an additional one. Some advanced level packages are required, guys. Like we are going to be having something called as an PyTorch, or we are having something called as an TensorFlow, which was developed actually, guys. TensorFlow was developed by the AI team from Google. The AI team, the Google AI team has been developed the TensorFlow framework actually, guys. PyTorch is another framework which is basically used for the deep learning and this particular AI and NLP, and it was developed by the Meta. That is nothing but your Facebook. So the Facebook AI team, there is a separate team, completely this Google, the Microsoft, all these are working a lot of, they are doing a lot of research on this particular, what we can say that the AI related applications actually. So they are doing a lot of research actually, guys. So the AI team from Facebook has been developed the PyTorch. All these we are going to be doing it actually, guys. Yes, we can implement it, guys. You can implement it. Okay, fine. So these are going to be some of the packages actually, guys. These are all some contributed. So these are all contributed by the Python community. Pandas, Matplotlib, cborn, okay, Plotly, Bouquet, sklearn, Keras, PyTorch, TensorFlow. So many are there. Yeah, didn't written all of them actually, guys. So if you want to work with something like NLP related applications, we are having something called as NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. NLP stands for Natural Language Processing. So which is going to be NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. It is going to be NLTK stands for Natural Language Toolkit, which is going to be something like which is going to be text blob, etc., etc., guys. There are so many are there actually, guys. There are going to be so many are going to be there, guys. It's, you don't believe it. Even you can't imagine that how much simple this particular Python is. It's a very, very simple. Even a complicated logic, even a complicated functionality also, within just like a one statement, we can do it actually, guys, without writing any functional code. Mainly without writing any functional code, we are going to do it actually, guys. That is the main objective of using this particular Python actually. But what about the other languages? If you go to some C, C++, Java, some other languages, so they are completely programming languages actually, guys. So in a programming languages, we know that first of all, what is a program? A program is going to be nothing but a set of instructions to perform a process by your computer. So the first point actually, guys, when you started learning C, C++, Java, any language, the first point they will say in the first introduction class, they will say that, first of all, what is a programming language? Why do you require a programming language? First of all, the people talks about this one only, guys. Why do you require a programming language? They says that computers can't understand our human language. Computers can't understand our human language. That's why whatever you want to say, whatever we want to say, everything is going to be gets converted into a machine understandable language, which is nothing but what we call it as programming languages. But now the machines also telling one more thing also actually, guys. Now the machines are saying that up to now we are unable to understand your language, but nowadays we started understanding your language. Yes, we started learning your languages, or you started understanding your languages. So you don't really require a programming language. Just like how do you communicate with another person? How simply a manager, for example, a manager asks and the manager asks, so this is our requirement. Can you perform this particular requirement? So I have a requirement. This is a process. This is a requirement. Can you develop the process? Let us say that you are a Java programmer or maybe some other programmer using some programming language. We are going to be implementing actually. So we have to write a program for that. Why? Because machines can't understand the human's language. But nowadays the machines are saying that we have been got some intelligence. We have got some kind of an intelligence such a way that we can understand the human's language. We can understand. Actually, we know that no, guys, whatever that particular we are having, which is going to be the Google Assistant, or which is going to be whatever it may be, guys, whatever we talk about them, isn't it? So they are all going to be comes under, which is going to be nothing but the machines can able to understand our language. So Google, you know that no, guys, whether you speak in English, it can answer you. If you have speak in Telugu, it can answer you. Speak in Hindi, it can answer you. Any language is supported actually, guys. How it is possible, guys? It is all possible due to some of the success stories of which is going to be this data science NLP related concepts only. They will be working actually, guys. Okay, so NLP is nothing but natural language processing, where we are going to communicate with our machines with a directly, just like how you communicate with a human, with the same as it is you are going to be communicate actually, guys. Just like you can ask, tell me, for example, my manager is asking, tell me, for example, like how much sales that has been done in, I was working for a company, for example. So like, for example, I'm working as a data analyst, saying that my manager is asking, tell me today how much sales that has been done in Hyderabad across the different stores. Like I have a different stores in Hyderabad, maybe 10-15 stores. So just tell me what has been happened in those particular the stores actually. So for that, as a programmer, I have to understand the requirement, then I have to do whatever the loading the data, all these things we have to do it actually. All these things we have to do it actually, guys. But whenever it is going to comes with, which is going to be the AI related applications, so it does not require any programming language in between them. It does not really require any much technical knowledge because machines are able to understand our language. Previously, some years before, the machines can't understand, but now the machines are able to understand our language. Even if you speak also, they can understand. Even if you write also, they will understand, because that is a very simple technique. Text to speech, speech to text. You know what is meaning of text to speech actually, guys? We have some text, we want to convert into speech, into the speech actually. It will read actually, guys, which is going to be speech to text. So whatever the particular speech is there, or whatever the words are there, that is going to be gets converted into, which is going to be some text data. So speech to text and text to speech operations, what we can talk about that. Like that, guys, we are having, so we have to learn only those libraries only, guys. We'll learn pandas, we'll learn matplotlib, we'll learn python, sorry, we'll learn seaborn, we'll learn scikit-learn, we'll learn the keras, we'll learn the, which is going to be pytorch, tensorflow, okay, nltk, which is going to be text blob. All these are going to be some of the libraries we are going to learn. Okay, so the Python is not basically, it was completely developed or maintained by a single company actually, guys. We call it as a Python community. So there was a communities are there. So these communities, what they will do, guys, they don't want to earn any money. They don't want to earn any money. They don't want to get any money. So for example, if I talk about Microsoft, or whenever we talk about something like an Microsoft, or it may be Oracle, or it may be Google, or it may be some other company. So we know that Oracle.com, Microsoft.com, all these are going to be nothing but what we can say that they are the .com companies. So there are commercial companies actually, guys. So if the Microsoft gives anything, so it always thinks about how much money I may get or how much profit I may get. But these communities are not like that actually, guys. They don't expect even a single NP from you. They don't expect even a single NP from you, guys. Why? Because they want to contribute something. They want to contribute something to the real world. So we developed some very popular for the formulations or a very popular algorithms. Instead of keeping with me, I'm going to distribute with everyone. Everybody can download and install this particular Python software at a free of cost. So it is open source. It's not a free software. I'll tell you what do you mean it is an open source. Free softwares are different, open sources are different actually. We have to understand the difference between a free software and which is going to be an open source. Python is an open source language, guys. What is that? I'll make you understand that particular applications. Okay. So like that, once if you talk about that, we can talk about so many features, so many things we can talk about that. So the first point I said that Python is a simple language, which is easy to learn and easy to write. Okay. So that much easy means how much easy it is means even the mathematicians, statisticians who never shown the interest to learn any programming language started learning the Python actually. They started using the Python. That much simply this particular Python is there. What Python provides actually, guys. Python is going to be providing you just not only just as some small keywords, and they don't say that just you can write the program or just you can go ahead and you can write the program. Python always says only one thing, guys. Whenever you do any requirement or whenever you want any requirement, don't worry about the code. Don't try to waste your time in writing the code. Maximum for every functionality you require, I'm going to be having some kind of an package or some kind of a library will be there. Just use that particular library. Anything you can do, guys. Almost all everyday activities, we can do it from Python. I can send the mails from Python, guys. Yes, I can send the mail from Python, but that requires some kind of a technical changes that are going to be required in your computer. Simply, we can't send the mails directly. There is some packages there. So we are having some kind of a package called as an email package is there. If you just import that email package, it will provide you different functionalities. Using that, we can connect and we can send the emails to whatever, to whom, whatever you want to send it actually. Okay, so we don't use them, guys. We don't send the mails by using Python, but I'm just giving an idea like what Python can do. So Python can do a lot of things actually, guys. Okay. So this is going to be just, it is going to be just to understand the basic ideas about the Python. So what I want to make you understand is just before going to that, first of all, one point you have to remove from your mind. One point you have to remove from your mind, guys. One is, which is going to be Python is a programming language. So don't treat it like a programming language, guys. Don't treat it like a programming language. So just treat it like a small scripting language, just like a small commands only we are going to write it. Even a complex application also, we are going to do very easily with a simple one line of code. Simple with just a very simple one line of code, we are going to do it actually, yes. A very simple one line of code. And even we are going to play with them. So it's not all about learning some language. It's not only just learning some language, but we are also going to do some kind of a very interesting concepts what we are going to do. We'll play with it actually, guys. I don't say we'll learn it. We are going to play with it. I also always use the same word actually, guys. I don't say that do some practice on these examples. I simply say that play on this concept. Means I just want to make you understand them, and we have to, you should be in a position to implement any way, whether any way if they comes, if any way if a requirement comes, you should be in a position to do it actually, guys. You should be in a position to do it actually, guys. Okay, so just don't worry. I'll just showing you like why, what exactly I'm trying to do that actually. Don't worry about that. So have a look at this. I don't write any much coding part, which is going to be, I'm just importing two libraries. Everything is going to be done by importing some libraries. I import some library called as a NumPy. NumPy is basically called as numerical Python. When you want to do some numerical operations, we do it actually, guys. Import, which is going to be matplotlib dot, which is going to be pyplot, as which is going to be nothing but it is PLT. This is nothing but use it for data visualization, guys. One is the basically used for numerical calculations. The second one is going to be basically used for, which is going to be what I'm going to call it as, what we are going to be calling it as n, which is going to be a data visualizations. So all of you have been faced this problem, maybe, guys. All of you have been faced the problem actually, guys. So starting from maybe whenever I was in the starting from 10th standard, I have been learned trigonometry. you know what is the basically the concept of trigonometry is nothing but it's one of the subset or it's a concept of maths where we are going to work with the difference between the angles, how the angles are going to varies according to that, how that particular value will changes across that particular angles. That is what we are going to be using. A concept of trigonometry is what we are going to use this. So starting from my childhood, even at the starting at 10th standard, so I used to the people, that means my teachers and all these things, all these people, they used to say one thing: this is a sine wave. This is a sine wave. They used to say it actually, guys. This is a sine wave. How the sine wave will be there? This is how the sine wave will be there. They says that, but nobody has been shown practically how the sine wave is going to be exist actually. Nobody has been shown. It is only just our acceptance. That's it. Somebody has said that sine wave will be like this, so we accepted it actually, guys. But we never tried it actually. Even if we try it also, we don't get that kind of a wave, a completely like a shape does not comes actually, guys. So which is going to be a completely like a free shape is coming, right? A smooth curve is coming. That does not comes actually. Even if it want to try to plot, you can plot it actually. Yes, absolutely, guys. Once I came to Python only, once I came to the Python, then I came to know how the sine wave is going to be there actually, guys. Don't write anything, just have a look at this one. Just don't write anything actually, guys. I'm just generating some numbers. I'm going to be generating. I'm just generating some numbers actually, guys. So in between from where to where, 0 to 180. So I have to write 181, we have to write this. 0 to 180. So 0 degrees. Otherwise, I'll write it as degrees. So directly write it as which is going to be degrees, guys. D stands for degrees. S, which is going to be sine value. It is NP dot. First of all, the degrees need to be converted into radians actually, guys. And then we have to find out what is going to be NP dot, which is going to be sine value, guys. Everything I will show, if I got anything doubt actually, guys, everything I'll visualize it and I will try to understand it. So I've taken the D as n, D is nothing but degrees from 0 to 181. But which degrees we have taken, guys? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 180. I didn't take in 0, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135, 150, 180. I didn't take in like this, guys. 1 to 180 continuous. 1, 2, 3, 4 continuous, guys. Now see, I'm going to plot this data actually, guys. PLT dot, which is going to be plot. PLT dot, which is going to be plot. Even during some my engineering also, while I'm working in engineering, the electronic labs, there also we used to have some kind of a devices. We used to get some kind of a waveforms. We are going to get it. Maybe if anybody has done, maybe if we went to the electronics labs, so there will be some kind of an devices where we used to get some kind of an, the waves are going to be gets coming actually. At that time also, they used to say that it is a sine wave. This is going to be some other wave. But really with the sine wave will be like that? No. So I have been verified here. Once I started learning the Python, I verified how the sine wave will be there. So degrees on the y-axis, sine value is on the y-axis actually, guys. Just nothing is there, just a simple line of code. A simple line of code. This is what I have been got written actually, guys. See, clearly a smooth curve has been came actually, guys. Let me make it up to which is going to be 180 plus 180. Let me make it as n, which is going to be 360. So I make it as 361. Why? Because no worries, it will include only up to 360 only, guys. So sorry, 360, not 260. It is going to be 360, guys. See there, we are going to get one complete wave is going to be gets coming actually, guys. It is not a business report actually, guys. Don't think that this is something relevant to business report. So nobody in business, when you go to some business of telecom or banking, so nobody will ask me saying that, can you draw a sine wave? They will ask to plot what is going to be how the sales was there over the time period or over particular location, how the sales was there. Can you show me the pattern? See, it is completely one complete wave. We have got it actually, guys. So how customized it is going to be? We can change the color if you require. Color is equal to, let us say that I'll put something like a red color. I'm going to put it actually, guys. I want to change the background actually, guys. If you want to change the background, then we are going to be doing some other thing actually, guys, like which is going to be plt dot. Don't worry about all these things, guys. We'll understand all these particular applications. What is going to be the face color is equal to nothing but it's going to be something like it's a black color. I'm going to writing actually, guys. See, guys, everything I was able to customize it. Everything I was able to customize it actually, guys. I want to find out what is the cost. Cost is equal to np dot, which is going to be cos of. It is same np dot, which is radians of d. So CS stands for sine, C stands for cos. So I'll plot the same cos value, guys. PLT dot, which is plot, which is going to be, in the earlier case, it is degrees, comma, which is going to be the cos. Maybe C stands for, okay, C is equal to, let us say that it is going to be yellow. C stands for yellow color actually, guys. So see, guys, how it is going to be gets coming actually. So it looks like something I'm drawing some graphs or I'm drawing some pictures, but I'm not doing anything, guys. Just it is going to be a kind of a plotting. So a beautiful background color with a red color with a sine value and with a yellow color with a which is going to be cos value. Beautifully we can see it actually, guys. That's why I say that don't learn it. Just I don't say that you have to learn this concept. You have to just play with these particular concepts actually, guys. But observe carefully. It did I written any complex logic for that, or did I written any logic, any functional code? No, guys. There are some few functionalities are there. Just generate a sequence of numbers. So it is nothing but by using a range. I calculate the sine value np dot sine, find the cos value np dot cos, draw a line plot plt dot axis, give the x-axis, give the y-axis, tell me what is the color you require. So I specified that I want the degrees on the x-axis, the sine value on the y-axis, and color is equal to red color. So same degrees on the x-axis and what is going to be the cosine value on the y-axis and color equal to yellow, and change the background color to which is going to be black color. So this is how it is going to look beautifully. Normally you can't do it, guys. Really, if you go for some C, C++, Java, there you don't write anything, guys. So I've seen one project actually, guys, using Java, they are going to do some visualizations, but coding part is very heavy. Coding part is very complex. It's very completely complex actually, guys. But Python, it's very easy. So that is the reason why the people, so who is this person who is using this? He is not a business analyst. Business analyst will never draw the sine wave, cos waves. He is not a data analyst or he is not some other person. He is a mathematician, guys. So let us say that I was a mathematician. So I want to show how the sine wave will be there to my students. I can take a graph chart, I can take a graph sheet and I can plot the data. Instead of that one, I can do it in my computer like this actually, guys. So the red color is a sine wave and the yellow color is going to be nothing but, it is going to be nothing but the cosine actually, guys. See how simply it is going to be plotting. You can change the colors, we can change the styles, we can change anything actually, guys. Depending on your requirement, everything is customizable actually. Okay, so this is going to be all about just the basic understanding like how and why you can use why and how I'm going to using the Python. So my first question is why Python? Very easy to learn, very easy to use. Anybody who do not have any idea about the Python or any idea about programming language, they can learn this particular Python. That much simple it is going to be. That is the reason why the people started learning Python. And what is the simplicity in the Python? For every functionality you want to perform, there is going to be some kind of a function. So axis is a function, guys. Plot is a function. Plot is a function. Show is a function. For everything we have a functionality is there. Just call the function. It will perform the functionalities. Okay. So this is going to be just the technical concepts of what languages we are going to use as part of our course curriculum, guys. 95% will use as the Python only, guys. Another 5% you may use R language also, because I was an expert in R also, so I can show you the functionality both by Python and R also. So some concepts I'll explain in R, some concepts I'm going to use it in Python, but 95% is going to be on the Python, guys. Only 5% chances that we are going to be working, not even 5% also, guys, not even 5%. I can say maybe somewhere less than 5% only you will be using that particular, whatever the language I'm talking about is R language. But more than 95% of our classes and everything, training, examples, programs, everything will happen only by using Python only, guys. Okay. So that is all about how we are working with this particular Python concept. That is mainly the simplicity and mainly the advantages of learning the Python actually, guys. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it for the today's class. So just for today, I'll stop it here, guys. And I'll just take some questions if anybody having. So tomorrow also we have the class actually, guys. Tomorrow I'll just start with some basic introduction to Python. I'll start with some basic introduction to Python. And then I'll start with my regular classes of Python. With my next coming classes, I'll do it actually, guys. Okay. And once again, guys, as I already told you, so whoever you want to take up the course, so please go for the registration. My backend team will help you. So you can contact. I think they already shared the messages and already the number is also there in the email, in the mails. Even in the chat window also, my team has already shared some details. You can contact them for your further process, what you want to do, guys. Okay, fine. Yeah, I told you, it's an Anthony, right? Yeah, you can implement it. No doubt at all, you can implement it. So whatever we are going to be learning, so as part of the class, using that, we can solve so many, you can participate in the competitions, interviews. So it is going to be, it's a completely like a job oriented, or it is going to be completely like a live instructor, which is going to be not like a video class. So concept to concept, we learn the concept, implementation. 100% it is guaranteed. You will be 100%, guys. 100% you will be in a position to implement. Only thing is you have to do some practice from your side also. So whatever the concepts I teach, along with that, some new concepts you have to learn, understand them, implement them. Then obviously 100% you will be in a position to implement by your own. Okay, fine, guys. So
Vamsi Srikanth here.
Yeah, Srikanth.
Actually, today only I joined. This is my first class for demo.
Okay. Yeah.
So also I go through with your curriculum, whatever the concepts which are going to cover in this class. But can we have any specifically weekly, every week so and so concepts is going to cover, like, because maybe we are myself as we are already working, so that sometimes we may skip the class or due to some other engagements and all, right? So that if there is any specifically, is there any curriculum information is there?
Absolutely. I think you have been joined today, right? It's not weekly, like weekly in this one. Every like day to day, almost all it is going to be like how the classes will be taking place. So you can see this is a full stack. I'm sharing one Excel sheet to all of you. So everyone, not only Srikanth, everybody can download. Already shared it in the last 2 classes also. So you can also have a copy of that. I shared it. In the chat window, you can see that full stack data science.xlsx file will be there. Just click on download. It will be downloaded. You can just go through that course curriculum.
Yeah, thank you. Let me check.
Yeah, fine. Right, guys. Anyone, guys? Any more questions? Anyone, if you have? Right, guys. So that's it for the today's class, guys. I think all of you are fine with the today's class. So just we'll continue with the tomorrow. Tomorrow also I'll just start with some introduction of Python. I'll start with them. And then we'll start with the regular classes from the Monday onwards. We'll start with them, guys. Okay. So that's it for the today's class, guys. So thanks for attending the today's class, guys. Hope I'll see you all of you tomorrow at the same time, guys. So if there is any change in the link, my backend team will send you the mails, guys. Please check your mails. You can get an updated email, an updated mail from my DURGASOFT backend team will come. So you can just check your mail and you can check the link and you can join the link, guys. Okay. So thanks for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Same time and with the same link. Thank you all of you, guys.